Hello, my name is Maggie, and I usually do the voiceover for MC and Love and Deep Space and Life Makeover card stories. When I started playing Light and Night, I wanted to voice MC in the cards as well, but then I decided that I'd like to do the voiceover for the main story too. The reason for that is that unfortunately, not everyone has an opportunity to play Light and Night. Despite the fact that the game was released globally, it is currently available only for players from Southeast Asia or Android device owners. However, there are some workarounds that I will share in the comments section, and I'm also thinking to create a separate video on that topic, so stay tuned. And now, without further ado, let's get acquainted with the story. Among every 10,000 people in the world, there is one exile. They were once part of the gods, but for exposing the crimes gods committed against humans, they were expelled, slaughtered, and suppressed at the bottom of the sea. 1,000 years later, the survivors seek space to exist and clash with humanity over territory.
I'm alive, and I've emerged from there.
No need to be ashamed of who you are, or hide in the crowd.
All I desire is to bring her back.
The obsession with the truth has become their fuel to keep going.
A brand new world awaits, and I'll be here, waiting for you.
Return the truth to history. That is my mission.
Grant them the power of their past struggles, and let that fateful meeting back then be the start of it all. At the Warson Prize Finals.
Now, contestant number 10, please step forward. Let's congratulate her on winning the Warson Prize Designer Competition!
Countless spotlights swiveled toward the end of the runway. There, where the lights converge, the championship trophy gleams, a beacon pointing toward every designer's dream. Amid unending applause, I walk into that brilliant glow, meeting the audience's eager eyes. I did it! I won this highly anticipated emerging designer competition. The organizer, fashion giant Warson Group, promised to launch the winner's own brand with full support. My lifelong dream is finally within reach. Heart pounding, I take one deliberate step after another. The glistening trophy is almost within my grasp.
Cut!
Huh?
For the finals, remember to stop right where you did earlier. Don't go any further.
The music cuts abruptly. I pull my foot back and freeze in place, along with my soaring excitement. As I snap back to reality, the scrolling words "Final Countdown" on the announcement screen come into sight. I let out a quiet sigh. Right, no roaring applause, no blinding spotlights. Right now, I'm not the champion, just a contestant rehearsing for the finals.
Rehearsal's over. Come sign the advancement confirmation form.
That's all right.
Yep, all set. Head back to prep for the competition. Next contestant and model, step on stage, please.
The dim stage brightens again. I watch the next contestant step onto the runway wearing the same wistful expression. No one is immune to the lure of victory. Only 3 days left until the make or break final. This time, I'm definitely winning the championship. Chapter 1: Turning Point of Fate. Fate is a gust of wind. The red leaves drift away in the wind, but in the moment the wind rises again, we have met.
Congrats on making the finals!
A sudden weight drops onto my shoulder as I step into the hallway. I turn to see An, her eyes crinkled into little crescents with a smile. An, you're back from your business trip?
Yeah, and yet I still missed seeing you advance on stage in person. Such a bummer. But don't worry, I snagged the best seats for the finals, and I'll cheer my heart out till the very last second.
An's been my good friend since high school. She's now an editor at Beauty, a top-tier fashion magazine. Even though we haven't seen each other in 5 years, ever since I went abroad for college, we still keep in close touch.
I've even thought of the headline for your victory article in advance. The Genius Designer's Big Breakout Battle. What do you think?
The competition hasn't even started yet. Her over-the-top reaction makes me laugh, but it warms my heart too. It's like you're always there for my life's biggest moments. It really helps calm my nerves.
Of course I am. Even though someone ditched me for 5 whole years, her stuff is still my top priority.
Back in high school, we met while scrambling for the last copy of a limited edition magazine. Who would have guessed that it'd turn us into inseparable best friends? She's always loved writing and finally got into the Chinese literature department like she'd hoped. But I broke our promise to go to the same college. I went abroad in my second year of high school and only came back a few months ago. I'll never forget when I told her I was leaving, she cried and said she wanted to end our friendship. But on my departure day, she ran to the airport with puffy eyes and stuffed that magazine, the one that's a reminder of our friendship, into my hands. An is such a priceless treasure to me.
Hey, you've got this. You're the ultimate dark horse, fresh out of school, and already beat out thousands of other designers. Even my tough-as-nails editor-in-chief said your designs are bursting with creativity. Speaking of the editor-in-chief, I almost forgot. I still have work to do today. I need to write an article about the finalists.
So, have you locked down who you're going to interview yet?
I need around 5 people total. I've already got your part sorted. Can you hook me up with the others? Where's that designer who launched 2 best-selling ready-to-wear collections? She's been laying low for years, so her comeback is drawing a lot of attention.
You mean Wu Yu? I just saw her head out, but I'm not sure if she'd be open to an interview.
Yeah, I've heard she's completely focused on the competition right now. Nothing can distract her. Oh well, worth a shot.
I heard you coughing and sneezing yesterday. Here, some cold medicine for you.
A timid voice speaks up beside me. Gao Cheng scratches the back of his head with a bashful grin. Thanks, Gao Cheng.
You're Gao Cheng? From that renowned pattern-making family? The one famous for their rock-solid fundamentals? Hi, I'm An, a fashion editor at Beauty. Do you have a minute for a quick interview?
Gao Cheng is incredibly shy. Facing An's enthusiastic approach, his face flushes bright red all the way to his ears. I remember once when the crew was handing out uniforms and accidentally skipped him. He held back until his face was beet red, only daring to raise a hand when the staff were about to leave. Staring at An, he stutters for ages before finally squeezing out a few words.
Hello, an interview would be fine.
That's awesome. Thanks so much. We'll get going first. You focus on prepping. When it's all over, we're having a feast.
Yep. Unlike the noisy stage, the competition prep room is eerily quiet, perpetually wrapped in a tense, heavy atmosphere. The rules state all competition outfits must be made here. That's why, since the contest began, the prep room lights have never seemed to go out. I'd better hurry and make my adjustments too. My final piece is a black velvet evening gown. Tiny polished fragments of red tourmaline are scattered across it, glimmering faintly like stars in the night sky. I also spent ages crafting a matching red tourmaline brooch, hoping it would be the perfect finishing touch. But it wasn't until the rehearsal just now, when I looked at the dress again on stage, that I suddenly felt a subtle sense of unease. What's wrong? Is it the red tourmaline's color? Or is the fabric too heavy? What if I step back and look from a distance? I take a few steps back and bump right into something hard. I look back and see a bulletin board covered with little wish notes that the staff asked everyone to write before the first match. Hope to give everyone strength. I want to win the championship. Free women from rigid beauty standards. I want to be a designer as good as Gisele. I suddenly pause, my eyes automatically drifting to the window. The giant billboard on the building across the street is dipped in sunlight, a soft golden edge around it, and the person in the center looks somehow out of reach. The world-class designer, Gisele. He gazes down at the camera, an air of lazy arrogance in his cold, proud eyes. They say every designer has a Polaris to guide them on their creative journey. For many, Gisele is that brightest star, fixed high in the firmament. He excels at drawing inspiration from culture and history to constructing garment structures and fabric properties, simplifying complexity, and ultimately revealing the unique beauty of the wearer. 10 years ago, he shifted the entire industry trajectory with a single show. Even now, I can still clearly remember what he said back then.
Fashion isn't about homogenizing taste or drawing lines. It's about enabling everyone to face and accept themselves. Everyone has the freedom to be their true self.
Even though he stopped making public appearances after that, every detail of that show was saved and has influenced thousands of designers since then. Be who I really am. What am I actually trying to say with my design this time? I close my eyes, recalling my initial concept, a gown centered on breaking shackles and pursuing freedom. The heavy black velvet is like the helplessness and pain we can't escape our whole lives, while those tiny red tourmalines are the dreams in everyone's heart that never fade, no matter how faint. I rushed back to my home country to hold on to that original goal too. Now I see. The first thing that should catch the eye is the stars on the skirt's hem. The tourmaline's deep red nearly vanishes into the black velvet unless inspected closely. A brooch made of the same material fails as an accent piece. To brighten the entire gown, I need to replace it with a gemstone with high dispersion. Alright, garnet! Half an hour later, I find it in the supply room without a hitch, holding it gently in my palms as I walk back. A breeze drifts through the window, rustling the leaves outside. At the end of the empty hallway, a soft clinking of metal suddenly rings out. I turn toward the sound. About 7 or 8 meters ahead, a tall figure emerges from a prep room. He wears a black jacket, a black mask concealing most of his face. Sunlight flickers over the skull pendant on his chest, and the silver chain at his waist sways with each step he takes. That must have been the sound I heard earlier. I don't know why, but my eyes just lock onto him. A model? I don't recall seeing him before. Only when his figure disappears completely do I finally look away and head to my own prep room. I sit down at my workstation, roll up my sleeves, and get ready to fix the dress and brooch. Suddenly, a startled cry rings out from across the room.
Where's my hairpin?
The room instantly descends into chaos. I glance over, but before I can identify the owner of the lost hairpin, another voice cries out.
My ring is gone too! What's happening? Everyone, check your belongings now!
The dress is still safe and sound on the table untouched. I hurry to grab the jewelry box, only to find that where the brooch used to be, there's nothing but a pile of tattered cloth and a strange blue-purple feather. A cold dread washes over me. Forcing calm, I scour the workstation inside out, yet my heart pounds harder with each passing second. Finally, after a third frantic search, the terrible truth sinks in. The brooch is gone.